It's March and St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, so you know what that means. Time for some corned beef and corned beef sandwiches. Now, most people's corned beef is terrible. I am here to show you a simple and easy recipe that's going to make your corned beef not suck. Take your corned beef out and you're going to want to open it up in the sink because there's going to be a lot of juices in here. You're also going to get this pack of seasoning with your corned beef. Comes in every corned beef I've ever had. You don't have to use it. Today I'm going to use it. I don't always use it. Fill a pot up with regular cold tap water, and then we're going to move it over to the stove with the corned beef in it. I've got my pot on the stove with my corned beef inside, and I put the spices in. I've got it on high. I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Corned beef is coming to a boil. I'm going to keep the lid on it the entire time. And I'm going to let this thing boil for 4 to 5 hours. If you've got time, let it have the 5 hours. Lid's going on. I'm going to probably turn the heat down just a touch. I'll check back on it in a minute to make sure it's simmering. Now, with the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, I feel like I should have some whiskey or some beer. I'm going to go with beer. This is Founder's Backwoods Bastard. This stuff is amazing. It is a Scotch ale that is aged in bourbon barrels. Phenomenal. Now, I realize that that is not very Irish, but that's all you need, baby. One of the things that makes my corned beef awesome and better than your grandmother's is that I put a delicious glaze on it. So what we're going to have to do is go to the store, pick up the ingredients to make the glaze. Now it's a little cold out, so I'm going to have to put my coat on. And let's go. Perfect. Get yourself some Mott's apple juice, not that knockoff crap, brown sugar, and Dijon mustard. Now that we've got our ingredients, it's time to make our glaze. We're going to add about a half a cup of apple juice, 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Give that a stir, bring it up to a simmer, and then we're going to reduce it down. It's been boiling for 5 hours. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. I've got my glaze reducing. Now it's time to pull the corned beef out. I'm going to put it into my baking dish. Do not throw out the water. We're going to save that to cook the potatoes and the carrots, and you could even use it as a stock for cabbage soup. Right, it's already incredibly tender, so be careful when you pull it out. I'm going to have to put the camera down to do it. But when you put it in the dish, you want the fat side up. Now that my corned beef's in the dish, I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut slices against the grain, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut again. I'm not going to cut it apart. You see, I'm just going to cut in just like that against the grain. I'm going to do another, and I'm going to keep scoring it. I'm going pretty deep here, but you can see, and then I'm going to keep going down, and then I'm going to come back here, and you can see I'm not cutting it apart, just cutting these nice lines into it, and that's going to help get our glaze in there, and it's also going to help with the tenderness of it. Once you've got your score marks in there, you're going to take a little bit of your glaze, and you're just going to pour that right on. And then we're going to stick it in the oven for 30 minutes, but every 10 minutes we're going to pour it out and we're going to reglaze it. So in the oven it goes. Into the pot, I'm going to add my carrots and potatoes. It's been 10 minutes, going to pull it out, put a little more glaze on, and then it's going back in for another 10. Alright, now I pulled it out. For the final and last time, I'm going to put on the rest of the glaze and stick it in for 10 more minutes, and then it's done. All right. Now that is a corned beef. All right, now look at that. Just see it's just tearing apart. That is one tender corned beef. Your vegetables should also be done. You can add them to the corned beef for a nice presentation. And you could still use this water for cabbage soup if you like cabbage soup. Now we could go ahead and eat it, but I'm thinking it's sandwich time. Picked up some Jewish rye from Zingerman's Bakehouse. Into a pan, fry that bread. Swiss cheese. Add my corned beef. Top it off. Little side of mustard. Cut this bad boy. If that isn't a glorious looking sandwich, I don't know what is.